What's going on, YouTube? It's okmall. Today I'm back with our beginner's walkthrough, part 2. Now, our previous video was very well received, and I was going through all the comments and I wrote down a few notes on things that you guys want me to cover. So in today's video, I do want to cover negotiation of contracts. Next up, I want to briefly cover the crowbar and using it to disable traps to gain you extra experience while inside of a dungeon. Personally, never really been top of my list of things to do. I usually leave the traps there, and I have a reason for it. If you leave traps inside of a dungeon, you can utilize, if you have a build for it at least, you can utilize, let's say, Mace's knockback ability, Jolt's knockback ability, stabs, you get the idea. And if you position yourself correctly, you can potentially knock an enemy into a trap, and if you're super lucky, that trap is a fire trap, it blows up. Hell, even smoke traps are pretty good to do as well, or poison smoke traps are very good as well. But I want to cover it real quick. So yes, if you take a crowbar in there for the reason of gaining just a little bit of extra experience, help you level up a little bit quicker, take it with you. It's 100% chance to disarm a trap versus earlier when our previous episode, if you hovered over it, your percentages are around 80 to 75% or so. Not the greatest, so it's not really worth taking the risk of potentially disarming it incorrectly and hurting yourself. But just a quick note there. Next was the map. Some folks out there can't scroll or pan the map. Not entirely sure what it is, if it's a hardware issue, if it's like they remapped some of the controls. I'm not entirely sure. But to pan the map, middle mouse button. It switches from the pointer to this little panning icon. And that's simple as that. You just middle click, move the map around, and then scrolling in and out of the map is just using the scroll wheel. So middle mouse scroll, just like that. Now, if you don't have that, you don't have like your middle mouse buttons messing up, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. This is me using it. It's not as fast, but it can pan the map. And if you want to zoom in and out, it's a full zoom in and a full zoom out, but it is page up and page down on your keyboard. So page up, page down, page up. Simple as that. And the last thing we're going to cover is just some food buffs, how they work. We're going to go down, we're going to buy some food right now, and I'm going to kind of cover that with you guys in a second. So we're going to test this using cheese. It should give us hunger resistance 5%. So we got 2 things of cheese. We go down to our resistances. We currently have 0% hunger resistance. Go ahead and eat the first one. Now I know it gives us a satiety buff. Now I don't need that to ruin this. But our hunger resistance is now 100% only because of this. But we have to move. Wait for that buff to go away. Before I can eat again. So 5%. If I eat it again, we can now move around. This is a 90 turn buff. So by the time this satiety buff is off, we should have 10%. And there you have it, 10%. So food buffs do stack with one another. Keep this in mind. If there are certain buffs you are trying to keep active, you can definitely increase it by the more you eat. Now that I've covered some of you guys' questions from the previous video, I have some bad news. Since the last episode, the game updated and kind of screwed this build up a little bit. So leg sweep, still good. But the problem is it's now an 8-turn cooldown where it was once a 4-turn cooldown. Unfortunately for us, that stinks. We were using that one to manage the CC of the enemies, just kind of keep them locked down while we're stepping away. Stinks, but we can work around with it. So again, I got our nail down. I just have to level up a couple more times to unlock additional skills. We're still going to only stick with dexterity in our range tree. So our next objective is one of 2 things. We could either begin the Oaken Barrel brewery. So if we talk to the Elder, he does give us a mission to take over the Oaken Barrel brewery. Or you can talk to about more contracts. Now keep in mind, when you do contracts, you can actually accept the contract in the roadside tower. And there's a magistrate who travels between the mill here and the Drunken Woodsman Inn. Now, you can accept a contract between any individual, and you can also negotiate your contract with any individual, right? Whichever route you take is entirely up to you and your confidence level. Personally, when I did my build, I went ahead and took out these dungeons first because I know what I'm doing. It's, never really had an issue taking these out. You could opt to go to the brewery first. It does give you a little bit more gold right off the bat to hopefully allow you to buy more gear to make these dungeons just a wee bit easier. In this case, I think we should start off with the Oaken Barrel just to give us a little extra cash. Now, we're going to do it a certain way. So the Elder tells us to go over there and wipe everybody out because he wants to take over the brewery. We're not going to allow him to do it that way. We have other plans. So let's go over here. Let's talk to him real quick. Okay, so I don't want to cover this too much in detail. Just kind of follow along with what I'm doing. I'll explain it as I go. So here's the option for looking for work. But in this case, we need to do the caravan mission. So it says, I'm done with the first task. What's next? He'll then cover, hey, we need to go over to the brewery to kill everybody. Just keep on clicking through the dialogue. I used to go with option number 1 just to make sure that we hear enough about his dialogue. And then at the last, just say I'm on it. Simple as that. It now changes our mission over to the fate of the brewery. Reach the brewery. Now the idea here is to go over there and just destroy everybody. There's another alternative to this that in my opinion, is way better. We're going to travel all the way over here to the Carpenter. Now, when you get the Carpenter, you want to select option number 2. And the cool thing about this dialogue option is you could potentially talk to him first about the Elder. And that would actually make the Elder's conversation slightly different whenever you're speaking about the brewery. But I always do it this way. But anyway, select option number 2. And it's always option number 1. I never really select option number 2. We're essentially trying to figure out what happened to Dwar. Because now it opens up an option here. Hey, about Dwar. Keep talking to him. You'll have to select option number 2 here, where it asks you about a few crowns to loosen his tongue. Now, you could pay this man 100 crowns, but who wants to waste 100 crowns this early in the game? Select option number 3. It says, hey, can I help you out with something? And then just click on through his dialogue. Now, if you look at your map, there should have been a quest. I don't know why it didn't show up for finding the Carpenters Plane. Since it didn't show up, it doesn't matter. It's always here. You could actually travel over here early and grab it up. It's usually on this tile or that tile. But it's very, very easy to get to. We're just going to walk down there right now and grab it up. I said we're going to go down there and grab it up, but we want to at least make a little bit of cash. So I'm going to sell this. I'm actually going to buy a crude quiver. I'll probably get some more bolts while we're at it. Sell off the spool of thread because I don't want that right now. Sell that for 2. Look through here to see if there's any good gear, and there really is not anything good. Get my gear repaired. There we go. Speak with Jabbar. We're just going to repair his helmets. We're also going to grab up a crowbar so we have one on us, because we're definitely going to be needing one eventually. I'll repair this ring. Now, keep in mind, we needed homemade swords for Jabbar's quest, so don't get rid of these. They're not really worth it. You can't really sell it, but definitely hold on to it. It's going to be worth money in a moment. All right, so we're done with him. Let's go over to the General Goods Merchant. General Goods Merchant buys most items, so we should be able to sell the Peasant Spear. Sell. Horseshoes are going to be for the caravan. I don't need fodder at the moment, so we can make a little extra cash off of it. Go ahead and sell that off too. Merge our purse together. And there we go. Now this book, you usually could sell it down in Bryn for a little bit more profit, but it's not really that big of a deal right now. So go ahead and sell that. The alcohol, if Bran is here, I think he buys the alcohol higher, but he's not. So that's no big deal. We're going to pop inside, talk to the innkeeper, maybe look at your wares, sell and sell. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and eat. There we go, nice and filled. We'll head upstairs. We'll offload this sword for right now, because again, we need 2 more. So when we're out and about, if we find some bandits, hopefully there's some swordsmans. Slide that over. Slide. Slide that over. Slide this over. Not too bad. Oh, also straw. I was unaware but straw can be turned into fodder as well. So if we move that over, quick fodder, crafts into 4. And okay. Look at our map. Again, we're heading past the Drunken Woodsman Inn. You'll see a question mark the closer you get to it. Another quick tip, chat, is whenever you're traveling, if it's still early game and you want to be as safe as possible, if you just travel along the edges here, you're typically going to avoid snake bites, confrontation with other creatures, animals, and humans. It's easy enough that if you go to another tile and you happen to spook somebody, to just fall back into the next tile and try to move away from it, try to get around. Especially if you're not confident that your gear is going to hold up again in a bigger fight. This is the easiest way to do it. We don't want that to happen. So if you're not confident, do what I do. Just kind of do this number here. This is the easiest way to travel through a tile, and honestly the quickest. That way you don't bump into any evil creatures trying to take your life. So just do this and you'll be as safe as possible. All right, y'all, we're really close to our point of interest. Look at my map. This is where we are right now. This point of interest is going to be always the same. It never changes. This is where the Carpenters Plane is located. So it's always south of Osbrook and south of this Drunken Woodsman Inn. So you're never going to be confused. It doesn't move around. You always know where to find it. So we're going to go down, keep going down. Now it's typically surrounded by guards. Yeah, right there. We already got some people that know us that we're here. Missed. Got him. Okay, no big deal. I'm gonna switch. We're gonna nail him down. We got him. Oh, I'm bleeding. I had no idea. Stab him. Stab him. Then this guy here. I'm just gonna switch over to my crossbow just because I want to show you guys something. See how big of a hit that was? Switch back. This is not gonna work because of where my positioning is, but I can do that, move a little bit, and then kill him. Obviously reloads our crossbow, right? I'm looking at my log because I got my speed hacks on, so I don't really know what happened. But yeah, I took a shot, got a critical hit, 39 damage. Granted, this crossbow is pretty sick, let's be honest. We got it at the end of a previous episode. So let's go ahead and hit R to rest. There we go. I'm just going to eat these berries. I could turn them into fodder, but if you hit Alt and click them, it'll eat the berries out of your inventory without having to right click and do so. All right, this guy here, no big deal. Fall back. Do the same thing. Switch over. Instant hit. Fall back and... Ooh, okay. Didn't think he was going to be able to get me. He dead, though. He dead. These crossbows are fire. Alright, so we got nails, rope. We got this coal cart here. Just loot it all. You can actually read this. It gives you a little bit of lore. I'm going to read it for the experience and just toss it away. Now, the next thing I'm going to do before I head back to Osbrook, this inn here, I'm going to head inside just to show you guys, has a lot of deer pelts. So a boar pelt, a deer pelt, claw trap, some meat, antlers, apples, a deer pelt, and a barrel. Every one of these items is lootable, which is good. Problem is the back door is locked. Now, I didn't discover this. This is somebody I was watching. I just figured since it had this lock thing on it, you couldn't pick the lock. Maybe you had to get a key through a quest, something like that. You can use the crowbar. So we're back to having the crowbar be very beneficial to us. This guy here doesn't notice us because he's definitely looking away. There is, no way for him to see us. So we're going to go here and we're going to pick. We've picked it. Enter on in. They can't see us. We'll grab this. We'll grab that. Reorganize. I might have to drop some items here. Apple. I'll just eat it. May as well. Claw trap. Fatty meat. Deer antlers. Now we need enough room for a deer pelt. So let's go ahead and I'll just drop that. Reorganize. I need what? Drop this. With that. There we go. That was enough. Go ahead and pick this up. The barrel. This has some lentils. Just eat it. Whatever. And there you have it. Now, when you head back to the Osbrook, just be careful that you don't get caught with all this stuff. That's a bad thing. If you get caught with this many items, your reputation for Bryn and everywhere else is tanked. You don't want that to happen. But once these are no longer stolen, it's money in the bank. And this is what happens when you cut across. You have the potential to get attacked. Now, I could definitely get away from these guys without fighting them, but we're going to do it for the extra experience. So swap over. Gives us that taking aim skill. Take a hit. Good knockback. Just keep going until we hit them, and it didn't work. Missed. That didn't take. That did immobilize. Immobilize for one turn. Wait again. Stab him. I missed. There we go. Crossbow. Shoot him. Leg sweep, immobilized. He's bleeding. And just like that. It's easy as that. Again, I'm going to go for more agility right now. So we're Belmere. Healing salve, rest up. Next skill points. Nothing in range weapons. We're going to go for the spears. If we can get anybody immobilized, Impaling Lunge gets to hit twice, which is really, really good. So I'm gonna grab another one of those skills. There we go. I want to move these around actually. That you can do here, just click and hold and you can drag these around. Pretty straightforward. Okay, now that we're back in town, let's go ahead and move these items in here. Chest. Go ahead, eat. That. I'll probably sell this off, honestly. So I like the bottle of oil for the enemies though. That. This down to here. We're gonna sell this off. Move. Arrows. Move this over. Move that to here. Oh boy. Take this. Take the arrows. Move that. This. Claw trap can fit there. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now all the stolen items are in our chest. So normally, I would say you can put them in any crates, but there has been a recent update, I think, that just changed how the crates work. Now they can respawn over time, which is kind of scary, actually. So if you go to loot something and put it right back into the bin that you looted it from, and it's not stolen by the time you're ready to take it, and the inventory or the global reset thing happens, I don't even know how long it is, you potentially lose that stolen item. So if you can't put it into a crate that's not going to reset, then it's not really going to be worth your time to steal it. This meat, this fatty meat, I'm going to go ahead and cook that up and just eat that too. May as well. Go ahead and cook. There we go. A decent amount of hunger too, 18%. Reorganize our gear. There's the Carpenters Woodsman Plane. That's what we're after the whole time. Now, it is in the middle of the night, so we do want to rest up. Now that we're fully rested, I want to cover one thing really quick. We looted all these pelts, and a viewer was telling me a little earlier today during my stream that if you were to craft a bedroll for the very first time, you can actually get about 250 experience. That's absolutely amazing for the early game to get you leveled up a little bit quicker. So we're going to do just that. We're going to move over the cheapest of the pelts, and in this case, it's going to be the boar pelt. It's worth 150 versus the deer pelt worth 180. So let's go ahead and move that over. Now we just go over to our crafting menu. Hit 0, go to the bedroll. It just requires straw, rope, and a large/medium pelt. All we need now is just some straw. Easy place to go and get it. We head outside, head over here. The guy is located right here. He's actually shoveling some hay right now. This straw here is lootable without being stolen. So click back over, go to the bedroll, move these items over. You can shift click them along, and there we go. Craft up a bedroll, slap that over. Very, very easy to do. And as you notice down here at the very bottom of the screen, 250 experience. Really, really nice. Next up, we'll talk to the carpenter. And as before, we got to talk about Dwar. Don't hit him in the 100 crowns. We finally have that plane, so offer the plane to him. And just click on through his dialogue or read it, whichever you see fit. Now, I know I said I was going to go to the Oaken Barrel first, but we are going to have a change of plan. If we do the Oaken Barrel the way I want, it's going to decrease the reputation with Osbrook. And even though we'll have more money, there's still nothing to buy, right? So I won't have any upgrades to my gear. So instead, we're going to leave this quest alone for the time being, and we're going to actually go around and tackle the very next dungeon, which should be the Old Grave. We'll leave the Pilgrim's Rest for the last one. So we'll end up tackling the Old Grave, and then tackling the Pilgrim's Rest, and then finally going over the Oaken Barrel. I think that's going to be more advantageous for us. I know you guys can take on these 2 dungeons without a problem. I have faith in you. After that very first dungeon, if you guys follow my strats of, making noises to attract enemies, we should be good. Shouldn't have a problem, okay? All right, now that we're back to RtR, we're going to ask him about work. Now, whatever contract you select, that's entirely up to you. I'm just personally going for the contract that is closest to us, which is the Undead Side. Now, you can flat out accept it, which I don't want to do that right now. I want to actually ask for more money. So we'll select option number 2. And you can ask about what the reward is, but we'll start off with how much time do we have. He says no more than 3 days. Okay, fair enough. And he says, what can you tell me about the location? He said, you shouldn't get lost in there. It's just a few halls, and that's all. All right, fair enough. Who's in charge? Some odd character obsessed with digging up bones. He's read one heretic book too many. All right. Now, when we ask about what the reward is, he'll tell you how much crowns you can expect. You can either say good enough, or we need more. He says, okay, if that's what it takes, 480 crowns. All right, a little bit more money. Cool, let's just do it. Let's go ahead and accept this contract, and we have 3 days to do it. On occasion, he offers even more money for less days. You can do it as little as 1 day and get way more money for it. Now, in this case, I'm going to reload. We are going to speak with him again. Looking for work, Undead Tide. What more should I expect? What's the reward? I need more. 550. We hit deal. How much time do we have? No more than 1 day. Totally doable. We can make this happen. Understood. We accept for 1 day. 550. When turned into the roadside tower will be even more money. Now, before we head out, as always, double check your inventory. Don't be like me and just assume you have everything you need. Reorganize. I got a bottle of oil in case I need to throw it at an enemy. We got some meats. Probably need a little bit more food than that. Piece of steel doesn't necessarily have to come with me, but I don't have any other place to put it. I could sell off the mead or keep it. It's really doesn't matter. Pop in here just to get a little bit of food. I'll take this for 19, maybe a flatbread just in case we need it. Let's head directly over to the Undead Side and try to clear it as quickly as possible. Again, we only have 1 day to accomplish this. All right, we're just outside of the Old Grave entrance, and I want to talk about a couple of things here. So there are a couple of spots just outside where you can actually loot some gear, which is pretty cool. Now, we don't already have a like an amulet, so let's go ahead and throw on the Fang amulets. The graves is the thing I really wanted to talk about here. So they recently, in this new RtR update, they changed how it is when you dig up a grave. So if we look over here at my morale, each time you dig, now this is where shovels really come into play, but each time you dig, unless you're confident that you can keep your morale high through other means, food and whatnot, I wouldn't recommend digging this up because it just doesn't have the reward to morale hit ratio that you really want. Essentially, every time you dig, it's -4 hit to your morale, which can be really detrimental if you can't get that back up. It's not necessarily the easiest thing right now to get up. I picked up some hemp along the way. This does give you a little bit of morale change. It is not much, 0.02% for 60 turns. It's going to take some time to get your morale up with hemp. Now, again, food. So I wouldn't really recommend digging up a grave unless you know for a fact that you can offset the morale hits. If you take a shovel, essentially the way it works, it's every single time you dig. A shovel should dig it up in 2, which would be about a -4% hit to your morale versus, I did it twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 82%. That's just one grave. Plus you lose sanity after you dig it up. So we lost sanity there too. We're down to 94%. Don't recommend it unless, again, you can offset that. So I've been ignoring graves. I suggest you do as well. We'll take a look inside of these little, I don't know, mausoleum things and see if they happen to have any good loot. Here's another one. So far, nothing. I think there's only the 3, to be honest. All right, yeah, let's head inside. Again, we only have a day to do this. We need to kind of speed things up. All right, now that we're inside, don't make noises. We talked about that already. Make sure to examine surroundings so we don't get caught up in anything. Now, again, our gear, absolutely trash. We're going to try to keep enemies at bay. We're going to try to pull them one by one. We do not want them to get close. I'm going to shout and see if I can pull anybody from this distance. We did. Fall back. It's going to be a zombie. Just keep falling back. Good opportunity to switch weapons. There we go. Good hits. Good hits. I'm just going to stab him in place. Oop. How the hell did that happen? I moved accidentally or something. Leg sweep. Move away. Poke him. Poke him again. He is completely damaged. It's so good. All right, there we go. That should have restored or reloaded our weapon. Let's get our energy back a little bit. Oh, second zombie. He must have heard us as well. Actually, he heard us, but he didn't know we were here. Try to get some hits. Third zombie showing up. Leg sweep. He got immobilized. Immobilized again. Lost his weapon. Fall back. Fall back. He's stuck in place. I'm gonna try to hit this one. It's too bad I can't hit them back to back. It's okay. Just let him jump us. There we go. Leg sweep both of them. Fall back. He doesn't have a ranged attack. Now I should be able to. You see that? With this skill, we can hit people at like twice, even though they're in a weird location. Nice hits. That ended up reloading our weapon, so I'm just going to switch back to it. Gives us taking aim. This should hit him right in the face. Knocked him back, and he threw his weapon away. What do you know? Reload. Do another hit. Immobilized again. Oh, that's what I like to see. Leg sweep. He's dead. Not too bad, honestly. So that scream managed to pull 3 zombies back to back. That's okay. We were able to kind of get them one by one and lead them back to the entrance. And another good thing about the entrance is that if you need to fall back outside, so long as it's not locked up on you, certain mechanics in certain dungeons will lock behind you, which kind of sucks, especially if you're playing permadeath. You can't escape. In these particular instances, when it's not like this and you need a breather, if you're next to the door, you can kind of fall back through the door. They don't follow you. Take some time outside, and these enemies will go back to their original starting location. So it gives you some time. There's another zombie here. Let's go ahead and swap over. Shoot him right in the face. We got him bleeding, immobilized. That's what I like to see right there. That's some good stuff. Oh boy. That is so good. This weapon, this crossbow that we got is absolutely amazing. I do apparently need to repair it. I forgot. We found it in a dungeon and I did not look at its durability. But good news is crossbows don't really take any damage. So that's a plus. But we're going to try to keep an eye on our crossbow bolts. We don't want them to break too often. We got 39. We don't want to break anything right now, chat. We just want to clear stuff. No enemies can be up here. That's good. Try to find out if there's any other enemies inside. And always, again, remember examining surroundings just in case there's traps. Nobody to the south because there's no room down there. Keep going. Baby steps. We got 2 zombies. Now, we can do what we did before. Shoot right there. It should aggro. See how he noticed that? Shoot again. It should just pull. Oh. Let's see if I can get his attention again. Oh boy, that's the boss. So this is where we got to be very strategic on how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go ahead and reload. Let's see what happens. See if we can't get their attention one by one. I doubt it. Okay, here's a zombie. There we go. Fall back. Okay, got his attention. I'm gonna reload. Wait. I want to shoot right here and see if he shows up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We don't want to get all of their attention. Let's see what that zombie does. Okay, perfect. Shoot right there. I'm going to fall back. I'm going to shout. That should only pull the zombie. And I'm going to do one thing further. I'm going to stand right here. That zombie should step on this. Missed. See how we just pulled this one zombie? Sometimes you get lucky. Fuck, what are you doing? What is he doing? Okay, that's a good point here to make since I just screwed up somehow. I don't know why he didn't click the guy to shoot at him, but if you're ever on fire, okay? So stupid. God, that's so dumb. If you're ever on fire, there's two things you can do. Okay, I already waited in place, but there's two things you can do. You could potentially use your water skin and it wastes all of your water and dump it over you to put the fire out, or do what I did. If you wait in place, you don't do any other action, but you just hit spacebar, you can help decrease the turns on a fire debuff pretty quickly. The other thing it can do is if you're netted. A net's might be like at 5 to 6 turns, but if you wait, you'll lose about 4 to 3 turns off of a net if you just wait in place, which is usually better than not doing that. Let's go ahead and use a splint and supply some leeches since I picked up a couple of those along the way. And yeah, that was fun. Let's fall back. Let him bleed to death. He's dead. Well, that happened. Oh, here's the boss. He heard the trap go off, which, you know, makes sense. And now they're gonna go back to their their dormitory, whatever. I'm gonna use this and drink up. Again, this takes our pain down by 0.03% over a 60 turn period. We're hungry, so let's go ahead and eat. Rest up, just recover my HP. Apply a healing salve, apply a healing salve. Well, that was embarrassing. I'm over here trying to show you guys how to do things, and then I end up screwing up. I honestly don't know what happened, though. I clicked them, I thought. I'll have to rewatch the video. Okay, so there's a lot of enemies here. Again, the idea would be to aggro them one by one. Let's see if we can't get his attention. Keep an eye on my arrows. I got 31, so I can continue to do this. So I'm going to aggro you there. And then we're going to shout. Okay. Sometimes it bugs out because they were already looking for one thing, so they don't really look for another. Okay, he's by himself, so that's good. So again, this is what we like to see. I missed. Missed. Good. Dang. 32 damage on a crit. That's what I like to see. Immobilize, fall back, and a free hit. There we go. That allows us to reload for taking aim. I think at this stage, depending on how many enemies, there's still a lot. There he is. There's still so many. I could probably get him. What? You had taking aim, bro? I might be able to get him. Let me do this again. So shout. Still nothing. Both of them? All three of them. Just the two of them? Just himself? Okay, this is perfect. That's beautiful. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Just you know, taking advantage of the situation here. Now there's one zombie and the boss in here still. Two zombies. God dang, there's so many. This is the bad part, right? There's so many enemies in here, so it's really tough to you know, go in here full bore and come out alive, right? So what we're gonna try to do now. Maybe I can get him to activate this. Think I'm that good at it? He's gonna follow that noise. And then what I'm gonna do is reload. Wait for them to fall back. Oh, it's just a net. Oh no. Well, I tried. There's another trap there. Do it. Another net! What are the odds, bro? Oh, it's so dumb. Take advantage of the situation. Why not? He's dead. The other one's coming. Reload. That's so stupid. You got this. There we go. That's a good hit. What the hell was that about? Did he block it? Oop. That didn't go off. Good crits. Okay, so we reloaded. I know this is taking a lot longer, but I just want to get the point across that, you know, you can do these things. This guy's going to be really easy because he's going to sit there the whole time and just take arrows to the face. You'll eventually hit him. You'll get it. Eventually. Okay. It's going well. There we go. Yep. Okay. Eventually we'll get him, chat. Got 8 rounds left. There we go. We finally did it. Give me my bolts back. Now, I know we only have like 1 day to do this in, so it's possible that we're wasting more time than we actually need to. I'm doing this for effect, obviously. There's so many bolts that I just left on the ground. It's crazy. We got dagger treaties 1. Give me a hell. I may as well get a throwing net. Sure, why not take one of those? Well, from here on out, we may as well just make noises and do what we gotta do. Because clear the dungeon of enemies is what our objective... Ooh, watch out. It's what our objective is. Go ahead and find out what this final loot is. Take it all. Sarcophagus. It's gonna be empty. Love the loot stuff. It's the best part of the game, I think. Let me drink. We shouted so much that it makes our throat dry. Keep that in mind. Ooh. That one's a blue. Maybe it's cursed. I've had a few curses lately. Most of them have been pretty bad. But if we can get something good, we might as well use it, right? Alright, so we're not done of enemies just yet. There's probably gonna be a couple more over on the other side here. There's one, I see him. So we want to go up around this way. Let me shout. What? There we go. He's gonna jump us. He just had to immobilize me. God, sometimes, man, stuff doesn't work the way you intend it. So dumb. Well, that was silly. Wait for this other one. Like, he heard us, but he doesn't know where we're at. So we're gonna use the fog or the smoke here to block our sight. Immobilize, swap weapons, immobilize, out of energy. Good stuff. So now the mission is completed. We can just finish this up. There's going to be no more enemies in here. Grab our bolts. Grab our bolts. Let's see what sort of loot we can get. I don't know how many more of these I would like to look at because I don't have that many ID scrolls. Realistically, I only care about this one and maybe this one. Got ourselves a topaz. Pretty good deal. Empty. 3 ancient coins. If I haven't talked about ancient coins yet, I'll cover that right now. So ancient coins, I think they're worth about 4 golden coins per ancient coin. And what we'll do with those is once we get down to Bryn, there's an individual down there who we can turn this into. And once you turn it into that guy, he will give you, again, regular gold coins. So we can use it in shops. So typically hold on to those until you get all the way down to Bryn. Turn them in for a profit at the bank teller. I'll show you that, guys, when I get to that point. Grab that up. Sarcophagus, break this down. More ancient coin. And this is going to be the very last room, I think. Got gold. Empty. 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 And a silver nugget, which I'll put straight into my purse. Let me take a quick look around. Make sure there's nothing to loot. Looks like we're fine. I'll meet y'all back in town. Now that we're done with that dungeon, I want to show you all 3 ways of turning in a contract and what it looks like, what it does for you. So we already negotiated for a higher price. We talked with them about the contract, and we turn it into RtR. Okay, we get 550. That's what he promised us. So if we go to our quest log, we go to reputation. We look at Osbrook. We got 400 reputation for turning that in. We go to Bryn. Bryn gained 60. Now let's go to option number 2, which will be the magistrate. Option number 2 is the magistrate. Now he's located either in the mill or if he's down in the Drunken Woodsman Inn. Typically he's in the inn at around 2000 hours, I think, or 2300 hours. He's down here from noon to that time. He's in the mill, I do believe. I was just up here. I had to rest up until 12 and he was here, but he wasn't here at 11. So pretty sure 12 was the time. But anyway, speak with him and about the contract. You can turn it in here. And at the very end, he will say that he's going to talk to his buddies down in Bryn to give you a little bit more favor. So if you look at our quest log and go to reputation this time around, you'll notice we got 320 reputation and Bryn got 144. So you dang near double, actually over double the amount of reputation gained in Bryn. This is a good thing, right? If you can increase your Bryn reputation faster, that means you can get to Amity quicker, right? And the quicker you get to Amity and Bryn, the better your gear options are. Problem would be is if you don't have enough money to buy that gear, what's the point? So personally, I think that your first run in Osbrook should just be to gain a little bit of gold so we can buy Daryl, the one of the followers for the caravan. That way we have a person who can repair our gear, because we're just going to need more money. The caravan's super expensive. But maybe after that, start focusing on just getting your Bryn reputation up so we can get up to at least benevolence as soon as possible, if not get up to amity as soon as you can, and then maybe start to pick and choose whether you need money or rep. So now we're going to move on to the third option. Now, as you all probably remember, when we turn it into this guy, we gain more money. So about my contract, done with said contract, click on through. We got 688 versus 550. Pretty good. Go to our quest reputations. Now if we look at it again, 320, it still decreases the amount of reputation gained and even decreases the amount of reputation gained in Bryn. So keep that in mind. You gain very little reputation between the two of them, especially Bryn. But we gain more money, which is usually helpful, especially early game, because we want to focus on getting our gear up so we can survive through the dungeons. Once we can survive dungeons in Manshire and in Osbrook, maybe switch our focus over to Bryn instead, right? Now that we're back, let's go ahead and get our gear sold and repaired. Buy a couple of ourselves an ID scroll for each one of these necklaces. Nothing's cursed, but this one came with magic resistance, dodge, crit avoidance, energy, and health. It's giving us more stats. Go ahead and slap that on. This one just gave a health restoration. Nobody can buy that, so just get rid of it. 26, 26. I haven't read this book. May as well sell that off for some money. Sell the alcohol. We also had something inside of our purse. Just one little silver nugget. Trade that away. Always make sure your gear is repaired. In this case, I got to repair the net as well as repair my crossbow. What are you selling? Go ahead and repair. So that's the crossbow that we found for free. It was a tier 2 and it's worth 660. We got it much cheaper just by finding it. That's awesome because the range on it is 10 versus our old one being 6. That is insane. Lots of distance, lots of knockback, and a mobilization chance. It's a great crossbow. Another quick thing, smoking mix. I would actually recommend buying this, learning it, right? Because if you make smoking mix and you have leeches, I'll show you here real quick what that helps you out with. I need a stick, which is one right there. Go ahead and craft this up real quick. Stick over, smoking mix, craft. This here. So, leeches will treat an injury by 5%, decrease your morale a little bit. Now, it can be applied to a selected body part and it gives you leech therapy, which lasts for 30 turns. Leech therapy decreases intoxication by 0.5% over the 30 turns. So it's 15% reduction in intoxication. Gives you 0.1% of immunity. So that would be 3% immunity change into the positive. You do gain pain and negative bleed res. On the flip side of that, you go to the smoking mix. You gain pain change over a 360 turn duration. Okay, so where you gain pain, you lose it here. Pain resistance of 10% for 360 turns. Again, you're adding pain. Intoxication increases, but intoxication decreases with this one. So these kind of go hand in hand. You do end up gaining 10% additional durability, however, you do end up gaining 10% additional cooldown duration, which really sucks, but ultimately, this is pretty good. Oh, and morale. So that's good. You get your morale back. I just did some quick calculations and 0.04% morale change over a 360 turn is about 14.4 additional morale into the positive. So yes, you can use these together. Keep in mind though, with this particular thing, I found that when you first start, it does make you cough. So be mindful of how you use it. All right, y'all, since we completed those 2 contracts, it gave us enough reputation to bump us over into benevolence. That opens up wide selection and advanced payments. So if we go ahead and talk to the blacksmith here and ask him what he's selling, he now offers better loot. We currently are sitting with 1,157 crown. These aren't too expensive. I should be able to purchase at least 2 of these. What I'm going to go for, because we already have a medium helmet. I want to go for medium gear to get us through that middle of the game. So I always find that it's much easier with this. Slap that one on, right? Move some of the stuff around. Splints, van braces, or splint boots. I'm going to slap those on. And we have 354. I can actually get this. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to get all of this. I just bought food, so I should be fine in that regard. I will maybe sell this off for 10. I know. I'm really, really broke right now. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Go ahead and merge my purse together. Offload that one. Who cares? It'll disappear. Pop in here next. And sell, sell, sell. We currently have 55 crown. It's an investment, chat. We'll make this up. And keep in mind, if you really, really, really need, desperate need, right, for more money, you can always go out and make fodder. Keep in mind, remember we talked about fodder. Fodder is actually worth something. So yeah, that sells for 4. I could use it against the boss, so we won't do that. I think that is where we're going to end today's episode for the Beginner's Guide Part 2. I do apologize about not going through with the brewery mission first. I was torn between choosing contracts and choosing the brewery. The brewery went over in my head at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, hey, if we do the brewery, we get more money, but we don't have access to better gear. And it's going to put us behind. I don't want that to happen to you guys. So in this case, I think we did a fairly good choice, even though we don't have a whole lot of cash. This right here, this will get us through Manshire, no problem. We're good. So the next dungeon that we do is going to be super, super easy. We have plenty of protections. This crossbow is freaking amazing. So yeah, you're going to be set. You're going to be golden. Next episode, what we'll do, we'll knock out Pilgrim's Rest. I'll do it much faster than what I have done in the in this episode and the previous. I think you guys have a hang of how we do dungeons, how to keep yourself safe, how to use noise to your advantage to lure the enemies one by one. It's not so complicated. If you play on a non-perma character, you have the freedom to test out game mechanics, which is exactly what we're doing right now. We're seeing what works and what doesn't work when it comes to pulling and luring enemies away. We're learning a lot of new stuff. Hell, even I'm learning as I'm doing this, which is going to help me in my future playthroughs, which is great. But yeah, with that out of the way, please like, comment, and subscribe, especially comment. I need to know your guys' opinion, your thoughts, what more you want from the series. How far we're going to go with this series is still to be seen. I know some of you out there want to see it a full build all the way through to the high levels. I don't think I'll take it that far. I do eventually want to complete this build to give you guys more of a fleshed out level 20 or something, just to give you an idea what this build looks like at a level 20. I think you guys got this. I honestly do. We'll probably do 2 more episodes into this series before we call it. And I want you guys to take every opportunity to take these tips and make them your own and start diving into other builds. The beauty of Stoneshard is honestly this. It's the skill tree. If we didn't have such a wide selection of build opportunities, like it's endless. It's literally endless in how you can build your character. And if we didn't have that freedom to select different skills and mix and match, I don't think this game would be as fun. I honestly don't. So don't constrict yourself to a meta, quote unquote, build. Never do that. Give yourself the freedom to think outside of the box, because you can come up with some amazing shit that shouldn't work, but does. Okay. But again, comment, leave those thoughts below, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.